Surprise! They're married. By Lady of the Nails on AO3. Summary. Izuku and Katsuki have been married for 7 years, parents for 5, and a long overdue reunion with their high school classmates reminds them that they may or may not have forgotten to tell most of the world about any of that. Izuku, get your ass down here. We're gonna be late. Katsuki barks as he throws his coat on and grabs his key from the hall table, glaring up the stairway where his husband should be appearing. He seriously should have learned his lesson after almost 11 years with this dork and a whole life of knowing him. There's always just one more thing he's gotta do before they leave the house. Yeah, Pa, get your ass down here. Himawari copies from beside Katsuki, stomping her little feet. Hey, remember what I said about repeating me? Katsuki tells his daughter, ruffling her fluffy blonde hair. She's so damn tiny. She looks at him with her whole wide, shiny eyes that remind him of Izuku's and answers. Not around Papa. Yeah, not around Papa, Katsuki says, poking her chubby cheeks. Now go play with Grandma. Your dad and I will be home soon. Okay. The little monster chirps, hugging tightly to Katsuki's leg before rushing off to give his poor mother-in-law hell for the next few hours. Katsuki can't help but grin. He had never thought about being a father in his younger days, but there's a lot about his life now that his younger self would have never imagined. And God, he loves his annoying little kid more than anything in the world. Did I just hear our daughter swear? Izuku's voice says from the top of the stairwell, where Katsuki's husband has finally made his appearance. His freckled face is twisted in a frown as he makes his way down to where Katsuki's been waiting for him impatiently. Nope, Katsuki answers, kissing his partner's cheeks to cover his own ass. It only earns him an eye roll, but Izuku smiles after that. You look nice, he says, laying a hand on Katsuki's sweater that his mother had gifted him a while ago. And it didn't even take me 2 hours to get this way, Katsuki teases, grabbing Izuku's coat from the hanger and throwing it at his face. You're the one who abandoned me to the closet. Izuku pouts. You know I can't pick anything out on my own. You're a 30-year-old man. You can dress yourself. Not well, and don't remind me of my age. We're leaving, Katsuki calls to his daughter and the sitter, ignoring his husband's whines. After even more hugs and a thank you from Inko, Katsuki and Izuku are finally out of the house and driving to the venue that some of their high school friends had put together for a reunion. It had been years since Katsuki had seen anyone from Class 1A besides Kirishima, Mina, Ochako, or Todoroki, the 4 people that would have never left him or Izuku alone, even if they were countries apart. Which at times they were. Majority of things he knows about his former classmates' adult lives, he learned through whatever Izuku learned on the internet and thought to share, or, the national news coverage they all got on a pretty consistent basis. Katsuki, for his own part, absolutely fucking hated reporters and kept them out of his business as much as possible. Izuku is more or less the same mind, though far less aggressive about it. Katsuki doesn't find himself much looking forward to the slew of small talk and what's been going on with you that awaits him when he pulls up outside the hotel where Yaoyorozu and Mina decided to throw the event. But he can tell by Izuku's statuary grin that his partner is more than ready. As soon as they enter the room, Izuku makes a beeline for the short, muscular brunette he calls his best friend, wrapping her in a bear hug as if it's been far more than 2 weeks since they last met for coffee. Ochako! Hey, it's Teku! Ochako grins, then gives a look to Katsuki. And his worser half! I thought you two would never show. Nice one, Mochi. Katsuki huffs, flicking her forehead, like they were still in high school. She bats at his hand and grins wider. And it ain't my fault this loser can't get anywhere on time. He gestures to his husband. Hey! Izuku protests weakly. Believe me, I know, Ochako says, then turns behind to call, Hey guys, look who's here! Todoroki and Iida stop their conversation to come over and greet them, and it doesn't take long for Izuku to stride up rapid-fire conversation with his old friends, while Katsuki does his best to keep up. It takes him a while to realize, but he doesn't really mind hanging out with Izuku's friends most of the time. It only takes a few minutes for his own high school idiots to find him, though. Bakugou! Katsuki turns just in time for Kirishima to fling himself into his arms. My man, I miss you! Get off of me, stupid! Katsuki grumbles, shoving him back, and into Sarah, who's grinning like a madman. I knew you missed me too, Kaminari says, laying a hand over his heart and fluttering his eyelashes, making Sarah crackle. Play nice, Ka-chan, Izuku teases, moving to greet the two idiots. Then Kirishima and Mina, who also made their way over. More claps on the back, hugs, and chattering conversation follow as Izuku drags Katsuki from his old friends to old friends, only stopping when Yaoyorozu steps up in front and clicks her fork against a glass to gain everyone's attention. The creation hero is literally sparkling in the length floor, shimmering cocktail dress that makes everyone around her look like a Cinderella pre-fairy godmother. Welcome, everyone. Jirou Momo starts with a wide smile. I'm very glad you all made it. We've got all the food set up, so please feel free to grab a plate and take a seat anywhere you wish. People start moving, but Yaoyorozu isn't done. Before you do that, though, Jirou and I have an announcement. She smiles at her girlfriend, whose face has turned bright red. Katsuki wants to laugh. We're, Jirou starts, looking out at the group of people who almost all share the same face of amused and excitement. We're engaged, she finally managed, prompting an uproar of cheering and money exchanging that could only be found in a group of people. Oh, that's adorable, Izuku coos, leaning into Katsuki's arms as the two brides-to-be are jeered into giving each other a quick peck on the lip. Yaoyorozu looks the happiest Katsuki has ever seen her, and Jirou, despite surely wishing she was anywhere else, looks happy too. It was about time, Katsuki murmurs, giving Jirou a nod when she happens to look at him. After everyone found a seat and had gotten their food, more announcements are made, because everyone seems to have decided that this is the perfect time to tell the class about their biggest life choices. Katsuki never really understood that need to share, but he did happen to like seeing these people being happy, so he listened and toasts them all the same. Though a mix of large announcements and small table conversation, he learns that Sarah had finally kept a partner for more than a few weeks. Sue got a job working at an agency. Kaminari is finally opening his own agency, with the help of Shinso, of course. Ochako and Iida are also engaged now, which Katsuki already knew, thanks to Deku, and, most surprisingly, Mina is fucking pregnant, meaning she and Kirishima are going to be parents, which is a terrifying thought to say the least. Izuku must have cried 100 times before all the announcements were said and done. I've missed you guys so much, Izuku says, sniffling, as he looks at all of their friends, some of whom are snickering at his antics. And I am so happy for you. Calm down, crybaby. Katsuki smirks, draping an arm over his husband's shoulders and pulling him in. No, I can't, Izuku wails. I'm too happy. This is amazing. You're getting married. He gestures to Ochako and Iida, who smile. And you're having a baby! He waves his hands at the beaming Mina and Kirishima. And we all have jobs, and we're adults! Would you believe me if I said he only had one drink? Katsuki tells their laughing friends, flicking his husband in the cheek. I don't need to be drunk to have feelings, Ka-chan. Izuku pouts, dropping his head on Katsuki's shoulder. You know! Kaminari cuts in, leaning across the table with a waddle of his eyebrows. That never meant anything good. With all these engagements, it's making me wonder what's taking you two so damn long. Katsuki and Izuku freeze at the same moment, staring at the electric hero. What? Izuku says, flattery after a moment pause. Yeah, Sarah agrees like nothing's strange here. It's been what, a decade since you two got together? And we're not engaged yet? Izuku says, palling. Katsuki acutely feels the weight of his fucking wedding ring on its chain against his chest, under his shirt. Not as far as I know. Kaminari laughs. Mina says quietly, a look of realization dawning on her face, as she turns to meet Katsuki's eyes. Katsuki? Ochako is giving Izuku a similar look, while Iida and Todoroki and Kirishima look thoroughly confused. Those are the only 5 people in this room that have met Himawari, but they must have said something to anyone else, right? Katsuki has a flashback to the day he got married. Izuku had proposed not even a full month before, fumbling a ring out of his pocket in the back of an ambulance, because of fucking course that had to be where that part of the relationship took place. It was right after one of their worst battles since One for All. They hadn't thrown an engagement party or invited all their friends. They just asked All Might to get oriented and dragged him and their parents into a Shinto shrine in the middle of the park near their house. It seemed easiest at the time to put the wedding bands on their dog tag necklaces that listed each other as emergency contact instead of their fingers, to stop the media from getting any ideas and stop Izuku from losing his. And then their daughter. A few years later, adoption had been a complicated process, and they certainly did keep it all to themselves until they were absolutely sure that Himawari would be able to be a part of their family, and that she wanted to be. But after that, they talked about her? Maybe? Maybe not. Katsuki feels his heart skip a beat, turning to Izuku, at the same time his husband stood up and gave him a horrified look. They didn't know. They legitimately did not fucking know. Shit. I thought. Todoroki starts, but Izuku shoots his feet before he could say another word. Okay, he shouts, far too loud. It certainly gets their former classmates' attention. Kachan and I have an announcement. No, we don't. Katsuki blurts as he jumps to his feet too, wanting nothing less than to reveal to any of these people that they've been accidentally hiding their entire fucking family for the past 5 years. We actually were just going to leave, Katsuki says, grabbing Izuku's shoulder. Kachan! Izuku hisses under his breath, looking at the class, then at his husband. We have to say something. No, we don't. Katsuki repeats quietly, trying to push him towards the exit. We owe them nothing. I'm gonna tell them. I'm leaving you here. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Izuku gives him a flat glare, and he caves. Why did he have to fall in love with this stubborn-ass man? At least do it near the exit then, please. His husband pauses for a second, glancing back at the room full of people that are starting to stare at them with a mix of concern and earnest. Fine, he capitulates, allowing Katsuki to drag him to the back of the room where the doors are. Sorry, everyone, he calls to the group, mustering a nervous smile. We do actually have an announcement, though. About time, Hagakure shouts, gathering a few cheers in agreement. Katsuki pushes the bridge of his nose with a heavy sigh as Izuku laughs fearfully. This is a living nightmare. When's the wedding? Kaminari shouts, cupping his hand over his mouth with a grin. No fucking way. About that. Izuku chuckles, voice strained. He fidgets with his shirt cuffs. It's, so, a funny story. It was 7 years ago, Katsuki interrupted, raising his voice enough that everyone in the room must have heard him. Give or take. Everyone turns dead silent. The speed at which Kaminari's face falls is almost comedical enough for the impending chaos to be worth it. Mina drops her head in her hand. Ochako is cringing visibly. Kirishima has his fist over his mouth, clearly trying not to burst out laughing. Todoroki looks plain lost. There it is! Izuku says, meekly. You... Sue finally speaks up. Got married 7 years ago? Sure did, Katsuki says, grabbing Izuku's hand and readying his escape. Also, we have a daughter. What? Jirou yells. Bye. Katsuki takes off into a sprint, dragging his husband behind them as the room erupts into shouting chaos. As soon as they're in the car, Izuku yelps at him, Go, 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 go! As they quickly back out of the parking lot and leave their friends to clean up their mess. It takes Izuku not 2 seconds to burst into hysterical laughter, dropping his head onto the dashboard and gripping his stomach. Oh my god! Shut up, Katsuki says, unable to hold back his own laughter, doing his best to hold it together until he's no longer behind the wheel. What the fuck? How have we never told them? Izuku crackles, wiping at the tears that appear in his eyes. How would they have not guessed? Katsuki counters. Oh my god, I feel bad. We did not. Oh boy, we should go back. No way. Katsuki says, we're not dealing with that shit. This is a disaster. Izuku responds, still giggling. Maybe we make a Facebook page or something? Avoid further issue? I'd rather die. The next morning, Katsuki woke up to find his phone overloaded with text messages and missing phone calls from his former classmates, most of them demanding an explanation that Kirishima had been unable to give them, proof that he and Izuku had a child, or Ochako and Mina chiding him aggressively for running away. Instead of responding to any of them, he sent out a mass email to every former class of 1A, including Aizawa, that contexts include 1 wedding photo, taken by Izuku's mother, right after the ceremony, 1 blurry picture of Himura squeezing the shit out of an All Might plushie, and 0 explanation for anything else. He sent it, turned off his phone, and collapsed back into bed, right on top of his husband and daughter. His classmates will just have to deal. This is a cute one-shot. It is very fluffy. It is very cute. It is so adorable. And I love this concept that they just forgot to casually mention that they got married and have a child. I love that. I love that. I love that so much. I also love the fact that Izuku proposed in an ambulance, because of course it did, because it's Izuku, and of course he did. Of course. A freaking course. No one other than Izuku would think of proposing to someone in a freaking ambulance. I bet you that one of the two were probably like half dead too. So that's like the cherry on top. Cherry on top. Love that. Love that. Absolutely love when that happens. Don't you love it when you get proposed to in an ambulance? No, weirdly enough, it fits them though. It fits them. If bkdk ever becomes canon and they don't get married, or they don't get proposed, like one of them proposes to the other and it's not in an ambulance, then I don't want it. I do not want it. I find this hilarious, and I also find that only certain people know about it, and like the rest were just in the blind. I love that. That is amazing. I had a lot of fun doing Izuku's giggling laughter thing. That was funny. In the first shot of all of Izuku's lines during the one where he was laughing, that was my genuine laughter, right? It was my genuine laughter. But apparently, my microphone doesn't like my genuine laughter, so I had to go over and redo it because my microphone muted all my laughters. Which, I have my microphone, if I scream too loudly, it'll mute it for your guys' ears. If there's noise in the background or if it's too small, it will mute it. So it muted all the high points and it muted all the low points, which happens to be more than 90% of my laugh. So that was taken away, and I had to use a toned down version of my laugh. But all of Bakugou's little, like, amused kind of chuckles, those are me actually suppressing my laughter. Because, like, it says, like, the first one, it's like, okay, Bakugou's not supposed to be laughing, right? Bakugou does that, and that's like, oh, suppressed laughter. Okay, so I'll just continue doing what I was doing. All right. Bakugou gets to have a suppressed laughter that is very much genuine. But this is very interesting. I really love it. I really love it. This is so cute. This is so cute. I love this. Thank you for Lady of the Nails for writing this and allowing me to podfic it. This was such a cute little one-shot. It was so adorable. Oh my god. I'm gonna be thinking about this. I love this. I love this. I'm not a big one-shot fan, but I love this. I think this as like a one cute little one-shot, it's perfect. I don't necessarily crave more. I don't crave less. It's perfect. For once, I finally find, you know, like, obviously there's been other one-shots out there that I've like, oh yes, perfect one-shot. Which is just my problem with one-shots. Sometimes one-shots would have been better as series, and sometimes series would have been better as one-shots. Series, that's not how it's pronounced. It's series. I'm gonna get that right one day. English is my first language. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.